Hi and welcome back to another Creations with Christina episode. Today we're using the Designer Calendars Cricut cartridge, and I'm just using the script feature with the shift lock key, and I'm using the little kite that's right here, and I cut this out at 2.5 inches, and then I also used the shadow feature of that as well. So I cut those out on some craft cardstock and my pattern paper that I'm using, so let's go ahead and start putting the card together. Here's my little kite that I cut out, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my two-way glue pen and glue this down. Just like that. Okay, so that's my shadow piece. So we'll start going ahead and putting our card together. This is the base of my card. It's cut out to be an A2 size card, which is an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock cut in half at 4 1/4, and then I have my score line at 5 1/2. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer this piece of pattern paper that I got from a My Mind's Eye paper pad. It's the Lime Twist Fly a Kite, and this is the paper collection here. I love this paper. So what I did was, it was actually, let's see, this piece right here, and I just cut it right in the right spot so that it was up in this corner here. So I'm going to use my adhesive here to put this down, just like that. So that'll be the card base. Then I have a 2 pieces of craft cardstock. This one is going to go across the bottom here. And then I cut a piece of the same pattern paper, or coordinating paper that goes from the same pack, out of the little kites. And that's going to go right onto here. So I'm just going to adhere that down. And I don't have the measurements for this. I kind of just eyeballed this one. So we'll center that right on here. And then that'll get adhered down here towards the bottom. So I'm going to hold off on that first. So I have another piece of pattern paper, and actually this is just a piece of pattern paper from the same paper pad, and it's just the other half of this. So I'm just going to stamp using this Ellie Edwards stamp. This one is called Kids Are Cool, and it's by Technique Tuesday. It's Ellie Edwards, and I'm using the Life is Good stamp set, or stamp rather, and some brown ink. I'm going to stamp Life is Good right down here towards the bottom, just like that. And then I'm going to use this right along this other piece of craft cardstock I have, and it's going to go right on the edge. But for this side, I'm going to use my scallop punch to punch out a border. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I cut this down, or I punched this rather, and now I'm just going to line my extra piece of pattern paper right along the edge here. So I'll adhere that down. And that's going to get lined up right here at the bottom. And then I'm going to use my scissors just to trim this because I want it to be the same length. Okay. So far we have our card base, my pattern paper, then this is going to go right onto here. And then I'll layer my little kite right on there as well. So before I do that, I want to also add some baker's twine. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap that around. And I think what I'll do is put a little adhesive on the back here so it has something to hold on to. And I'm going to have this come off from the middle. So I'm going to kind of do like a almost like a starburst effect. I'm going all from the same area and just going out into different directions. So I'll trim this down. And I'm also going to take a little piece of tape and tape that down just to make sure it's on there pretty good. So I'll just go ahead and put that right on here, and then I'll know that my baker's twine is going to stay in place. Alright, so I'm going to use some pop dimensionals on the back of my piece here. And that'll go right onto here. And then I'll go ahead and start putting the rest of this together. So I'm going to put my matte piece down. And I'm going to center that right at the bottom of my card. And then this piece, and I think what I'm going to do is actually use dimensionals on this too. So I'm going to, no, maybe not. I'm going to do the whole thing flat. So that's going to go right here at the bottom. Actually going to have it up a little bit from the center. And this piece right here is a little crooked, so let me just fix that. And then this will go in the center, coming up from the top. And I actually probably should have put a dimensional on the back of this top one here. Boy, I'm really crooked today. There we go. And it's still just a little crooked. Alright, so the last thing I want to do is I have this little button, and I'm going to actually put this button right on the side here. And I'm going to put that right there. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is just use my gel pen and use some white stitch lines going right around the pattern paper. Okay, so we just added some stitching lines also around the border of the pattern paper, around the craft cardstock on this piece, and also around the sentiment area and the little kite. That's our card for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.